Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Kim Mabon. I am the board chair of the Corona Chamber of Commerce and owner of Creative by Design. Today, we have some important updates and we appreciate you taking time to join us. As all our weekly calls are informative, we continue to assist you in creating vision and bring a variety of speakers and topics. I will be sharing the agenda today with our Vice President of Communications and Events, Stephanie Shapiro. Stephanie?
Thank you so much, Kim. And I'm honored to present our sponsor today is Robertson's Ready Mix. Robertson's has been serving the concrete products industry for over 50 years. They are the leading producer of ready mixed concrete and construction aggregates throughout Southern California and Northern California, and all the way up into Nevada. Robertson's is committed to establishing long-term, valuable business relationships by providing customers with quality materials at competitive prices. Thank you so much to Robertson's Ready Mix for sponsoring today's meeting. Kim?
Thank you, Stephanie. As a reminder, please use the chat button to ask any questions. Send your questions to the chamber host and we will verbally ask them at the appropriate time. Back to you, Stephanie.
Thanks, Kim. A few announcements that we wanted to share with you all. We have a lot going on here at the Chamber and want to make sure that you have all the knowledge to participate. Right now, we have partnered with the County of Riverside to provide masks available to the business community. This is something that we've been talking about for over a year now, but we also have a second style of masks, N95. So we have those and the surgical one-use masks available for our businesses to come pick up. So you can come by our office anytime during normal business hours. You can also give us a call. You see the phone number there on the screen, and we will set some aside for you and your business. Next, I'd like to share about something going on later tonight after the working hours are over is our Circle City Social. This is the third one that we have had this year, and it just continues to get better and better. We are going to be at the original Congressional Nice off Hidden Valley Parkway, right on the border of Corona and Norco. It's a great opportunity to network with business owners and leaders in the community. Beto and Flor will be serving tacos, and it's just going to be a wonderful night on the patio, getting to know each other. So if you'd like to come, there is still space. You can also just show up at the door and we will welcome you in. Also wanted to let you know that Chrononite with the Angels is coming up at the end of this month on August 31st. That is just under 3 weeks away from today, but this coming Monday is actually the deadline to purchase tickets. So we have reserved tickets for our community to attend this event together. We have 4 different levels available, and it's going to be a wonderful night. We've already sold about 300 tickets, I believe, so it's going to be a great showing from the Corona community. There's also a giveaway that night, so the first 14,000 fans in attendance will receive a Shohei Ohtani pillow for showing up that day. And if you're not an Angels fan, maybe you're pro Yankees, that's great. Show up, get that pillow, sell it on eBay, pay for your night, and we'll have a great night at the ballpark. So you've got 5 days left to grab your tickets. We also have hats available and would love to see the community there in large numbers. Next, I'd like to share about some of our upcoming Good Morning Corona events. We have the rest of the year already planned out, and so we would love for you to mark those dates on the calendar that you see on your screen now for August through November. Later this month, next Friday actually, we are going to be celebrating the graduation of our Executive Leadership Roundtable graduates from 2021. This is one of those programs that is kind of a well-kept secret, and we're talking leaders from all over the county and beyond. I mean, we have people that come out here from the Palm Springs area, from Claremont, all over, because it's just such a high quality program. You definitely won't want to miss this particular Good Morning Corona session. Every one of them is great for sure, but this is an opportunity to meet people that don't maybe necessarily travel in the same circles. So mark the calendar for August 20th. We do have early pricing through this Friday. In September, we are going to be paying tribute to our local heroes, our Corona Police and Fire Departments, and honoring the Police Officer and Firefighter of the Year. We will also have a special tribute commemorating the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks on our country. It will be a very moving day, and we hope to see you there as we pay homage to our great country. In October, we will be having a congressional update from Congressman Calvert. He is our local representative that represents our district, and he will be telling us all about what's been happening in Washington, D.C. So mark that for October 15th. And then rounding out Good Morning Corona for the year on November 12th, we have a salute to the military. This is where we honor all of our veterans, our active duty, our reservists to come join the business community. It is complimentary. They can sign up for free right now. All of these registration options are open, and we just really want to thank them for the sacrifices they make for our country, the sacrifices that their families make in that time frame. And it's a very wonderful morning where we just get to thank them and of course have some great networking opportunities as well. So make sure you calendar those. The last thing I wanted to share about before I turn this back over to Kim is our Women's Leadership Conference coming up on September 30th. This is our 10th annual event that is 10 years of inspiration and guidance and support and success stories right here in our local community. We put this on with the County of Riverside. We partner with chambers all over the area as well as other local groups. And the whole point of this day is really to just get actionable tips that you can take away into your business and start making moves ahead. Men are welcome as well. We do have some that go every single year. We will be offering it in two different ways this year, both in person in Corona, and we will also have a virtual option. For those who attend in person, we are going to be having exhibitors, we'll have breakfast, a lot of networking opportunities. And of course, because we're offering it virtually, we will also record the event and have that available for everybody to tune in and glean from all year long. We're actually going to be hosting 10 talks. It's a twist on TED Talks, where we are going to have a lot of speakers giving really brief but powerful, impactful talks to everybody. You can see the list of speakers up on the screen right now. We have 4 physicians that we'll be revealing soon as well in their different specialties. And these words that are listed after each of these women's names are the topic that they're going to be focusing on. So definitely be on the lookout for more information about that coming up. We are on a flash sale going on right now. Tickets just went on sale on Monday, and the lowest pricing you will possibly get to join this conference is good through next Monday. So a lot going on in the next few days, in the next few months, but want to make sure that you all have the information that you need to make a decision on where best to spend your time and invest your dollars. And we hope to see you there. Feel free to chat with me anytime if you have any questions, and thank you for your time. Back to you, Kim.
Thank you, Stephanie. As part of our Chamber's Advocacy Outreach, these weekly Corona Chamber business briefings focus on relevant topics. During a 28-minute period, our business briefings are held to educate and empower our members. If you are a guest and not currently a member of the Corona Chamber, we welcome you to join our Chamber family. Also, look at those businesses that you are using as vendors. Ask them if they are members of the Corona Chamber, and refer those names and contact information to Robert Yanez. He can assist them to become part of our Chamber family. Meetings like these are just one of the many benefits to being part of an active, thriving organization like the Corona Chamber. We service a regional landscape and are not bound by geographical limits. Please outreach to Robert as he can review the many incentives for both joining and referring a business to join. Our chamber is growing, and we invite you to help us make a larger impact. The Corona Chamber continues to provide you with resources for prosperity. I want to thank all of you for being part of our business community and welcome your input and questions. Before we begin with our next segment, let me share with you about those who are on our call. We currently have Jason Scott, former mayor of Corona and Citizen of the Year, Yolanda Carrillo, former council member, Jeff Miller, retired assembly member from the city of Corona, who is chair of our legislative outreach, and Wes Speak, vice mayor, as well as Wendell Bucktie of Supervisor Spiegel's office. So at this time, we will shift to our advocacy segment, where legislative advocate Jeff Gibson will share. Keeping a pulse on what is happening in Sacramento and Washington, D.C. can be a full-time job. With Jeff Gibson's thorough and complete research, he helps the Corona Chamber to act timely on projects and initiatives that help make a difference in shaping our community. As owner of Occidental Communications Group, Jeff Gibson takes a 40,000-foot view on the most of the proposed bills and then dissects them to our level and how we as business owners and managers will be impacted by those proposed bills. His knowledge of complex political issues and the great relationships he has built ensure the Corona Chamber has the tools to be effective on behalf of the business community. Please help me welcome Jeff Gibson to share a legislative update.
Good morning, everybody. So as we know, the California State Legislature is on recess until August 16th, which is next Monday. And throughout the next month, we will be updating you very intensively on each of the pieces of legislation that we've been following. We've taken a position on about 20-25 bills, and there's a number more. We're heading into gut and amend season, as we've talked about, where a bill on one issue can become a bill on an entirely different issue. So this is something that we're going to be tracking very closely. But as that's going on, one of the things that you're probably seeing a lot of headlines on, you're following in the news, is changes in national policy. Last night, the infrastructure bill, it's named an infrastructure bill. As we talked about last week, a minority of the funds that are in that bill are actually going to go towards things that we would consider infrastructure: roads, bridges, tunnels, etc. But it is still named an infrastructure bill. It is passed the Senate. It is facing a very rocky road in the House. The House prefers a $3.5 trillion spending plan above what would normally be the blueprint for federal spending. Last night, the federal government passed, the Senate passed what is known as a blueprint for the federal budget, which is $3.5 trillion in a normal budget year. So about 9 out of 10 budget years, that would account for about 75% of the federal spending. I know when you make a budget in your business, you really seriously hope that it projects and commands 100% of your spending. Sometimes you have things that are outside your budget, but in a normal federal year, that takes about 75% of the budget. And in this year, the 3.5 trillion is going to count for about 40% of the spending. So about 60% of the spending is going to be off what will be known as off budget. And so what we decided to do here is to jump into the economic effects of that. We've talked about that before for you while we're kind of in the midst of a recess. And so what we wanted to do is to really delve into some of the economic statistics that you are very likely feeling in your business, or you're having your community feel, or other items. First, we're in a transitory economic period where inflation right now is running at about 5.5%. That's about 100% higher than it normally over the last 10 to 15 years, closer to 20 years, has been running. 5% is not unhealthy for some systems, but again, if you are if you're looking at a wider number, it's actually closer to about 8%. That wider number includes things like energy, food, etc. So instead of getting into a conversation here about why the federal indicators don't include things that you buy every day at the store, we'll leave that to another discussion. Obviously, there's inflation. Obviously, during inflationary periods, you have wage pressure. As employers, that's something that you have to respond to. You, as employers, are responding to a couple of different trends as the economy restarts, including an artificially tight job market, because existing federal policy, which is running out this quarter, that pays people more than the jobs that are out there to remain unemployed. That was not the position when the policy was adopted last March. It is the position today. The federal government has recognized that and is going to be changing their policy on the additional unemployment assistance over the next probably 6 to 12 weeks. So you're going to see more people move into the job market. It's an amazing thing. You cut off unemployment benefits, job seekers increase almost by the same number there, but there is no correlation there, we're told. I happen to find correlation there. Anyway, but so why with an increasing labor supply are wages continuing to go up? Well, this is where we get into some of the concerns about increasing federal spending by 400% within a single year. And what you can see here from the chart on the right-hand side, running down the chart here, are selected industries that have added thousands or lost thousands of jobs. And you can see that mining and logging and construction, hopefully everyone can see this. We'll put this out when we send out the recording of this call. But you can see very consistently across every single category listed here that there's fairly substantial job growth. There was actually a loss of jobs in the retail trade sector, which is surprising. There was a loss of jobs in utilities. And so, but those can be seasonal. Those can be from retailers that are going offline because they saw that you just can't compete in this period of time. But the thing that you look at and you see, okay, well, are there any large scale trends? Well, yes, obviously leisure and hospitality adding 380,000 jobs in the month of July creates a great deal of pressure within the market, but those really aren't always competing. Hotel jobs and jobs like that aren't always competing with hiring teachers or hiring lawyers or hiring professionals. But what does compete with that is the other lower is the figure just below it, which is the hiring of government employees, which are typically very well paid. And those, when you're hiring 240,000 in a single month, now what you're having is the inflationary impact of increasing the government spending on items that don't involve infrastructure. And so this is something that's going to have to work its way through the system, especially if long-term government employment continues at that number. And you could see below from the second chart, which shows average hourly wage growth over the last over a 12-month period. In 2019, it hovered at there weren't many increases. In fact, there were some declines heading into 2020. Then you get about to March of 2020, it's stable, and then suddenly you see right there at the very beginning that you have an 8% increase in a single month at the start of the COVID recession. That was obviously where federal aid started to work its way through the system. And that other than at the very end or the very beginning of 2021, wage increases on a monthly basis have remained ahead of where they were in 2019 when we were obviously operating under a very healthy economy. And in fact, over the last 2 months, the wage increases have hiked. That incredible gap that you see right there actually matches almost point for point the wage increase at the very beginning of the recession, of the very short recessionary period that we lived through, which was actually about 2 months. So we are going to be tracking the effect of the federal spending. And again, we are very much in favor of building infrastructure, but we're very much in favor of building infrastructure, especially because this is deficit spending. we are in favor of people buying homes and mortgaging and using mortgages to use those homes, because generally home value increases above the rate of the rate of interest that you would be paying. So it is a positive investment for people to be spending their money on. Similarly, we are in favor, very, very much in favor of the federal government spending, if we're going to go into deficit spending, spending it on investments, airports, roads, bridges, commerce networks, ports, that help us as an economy grow at a rate faster than the interest on that debt would increase. Instead, unfortunately, this was a bipartisan bill, so we're not being partisan here. Instead, what policymakers have done again, and this time in the trillions of dollars as opposed to in the billions previously, is create a set of funding priorities, deficit funding priorities, that are spending money on debt. So they're spending debt, they're using debt to finance ongoing expenses and new entitlements. That's a serious problem. If a coworker of yours came to you with an over-leveraged credit card and asked why on earth are they out of money, it would be very easy for you to counsel them that they need to stop spending money and they need to earn more until they earn more, and they need to pay down their debt. This is the situation that we're in with the federal government writ large, is we are spending money that we don't currently have on things that have no asset value. So that's our challenge. That's why it's showing up so quickly as a pressure on you in your business for wage increases. When normally at the end of a recession, as you're hiring, wages are perking up a little bit, but they're not perking up by 4% in a single month. And so we're going to be tracking this very closely. We're going to be discussing it with Congressman Calvert, and we're going to be passing that along to the U.S. Senate, our U.S. Senate representatives, Dianne Feinstein and Alex Padilla. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. The bills that we've been tracking in Sacramento, no policy action has been taken this week on them. And next week we will have a very large update on each of those pieces as well, along with other economic indicators. And then the week after that, we will discuss developments in the recall. But I'm happy to take any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Jeff. You stunned us in silence again because there are no questions at this moment.
Come on, Wes, nothing? Okay, that's fine. I got you. It's a beautiful day outside. Everybody make sure to get some sunshine.
It is. Thank you so much, Jeff, for giving us that update. The best way to to help with these initiatives is to contact your local representatives, Assemblymember Sabrina Cervantes and Senator Richard Roth, both of whose contact information is provided on your screen. Again, thank you, Jeff, for providing those critical updates. We'd once again like to thank today's sponsor, Robertson's Ready Mix. They are continually looking to the future for the next innovations that will allow them to better serve their customers' needs and maintain Robertson's as the best in the business. Learn more at rrmca.com. If you would like to sponsor a future business briefing, please contact the Chamber. Register now to join us next Wednesday, August 18th for more advocacy news. Thank you everyone for attending. Our meeting is adjourned.